My goals are simple: to help you win money playing fantasy football. I'm here to change the way fantasy players approach an upcoming season by bringing in people, developing processes, and methods that will increase your chance to win a championship year after year. I'm Buster Brown, and this is Fantasy Football Redemption Rehab.
All right, welcome back to Redemption Rehab. I'm Buster Brown. Today, we're focusing on quarterbacks. Why you should take them, where you should take them, and the facts that back it up. Let's go to 2018 and let's hit the chalkboard. Did you know that one quarterback scored over 500 points in 2018? Did you know that 8 quarterbacks scored 400 plus points? That's 9 quarterbacks that scored 400 to 600 points in 2018. Did you know that 8 quarterbacks scored 300 plus points and 11 quarterbacks scored 200 plus points for a total of 28 quarterbacks? That means you had a slew of quarterbacks that scored less than 200 points for the season. To continue on, who scored the most points in fantasy football? Or according to the NFL scoring system, it was Patrick Mahomes. In 2018, Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs scored a whopping 568 points according to the NFL. Let's compare what he did to past NFL leaders. Guess what? They were all quarterbacks. In 2015, it was Cam Newton. In 2016, it was Aaron Rodgers. In 2017, it was Russell Wilson. If you look at these quarterbacks and compare them to Patrick Mahomes, what do they all have in common? None of them the following year went on to lead the NFL in scoring. Let's give you some more facts on quarterbacks from 2018. Did you know that Patrick Mahomes, Matt Ryan, and Ben Roethlisberger all were the numbers 1, 2, and 3 in scoring in the NFL? What do they all have in common? They had an average draft position in 2018 of round 10. What is the average draft position and why is that important? It's a public opinion poll of where players should go based upon several hundred, maybe several thousand drafts. That tells me that there's value in quarterback later in drafts. Think about it. The top 3 scorers in the NFL all were drafted about round 10. For you to understand ADP and where it has gone over the years, we have to take a look at our past history. So let's go back to
2008.
If you take a look at the screen behind me, compliments of our friends at fantasyfootballcalculator.com, a great site to do mock drafts and get an ADP sheet from, which is the only thing I take into any draft I go. You'll see that there is a sheet behind me from
2008.
Notice that in round 1, only 1 quarterback was taken, Tom Brady. If you go to round 2, you'll notice that's followed by 3 more quarterbacks. And in rounds 3, there were none. And in round 4, there was 2 more quarterbacks for a total of 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 4 rounds. Let's compare that to the average draft position last year in 2018. Notice in round 1, there are no quarterbacks being taken, followed by round 2, which there are 0 quarterbacks being taken, only to be followed up by round 3, where 1 quarterback is taken, and in round 4, as you can plainly see, only 1 quarterback is taken again. That's a total of 2 quarterbacks taken in the first 4 rounds. That's a 66% decrease from
2008
to 2018 in the quarterback average draft position. You have to ask yourself why. Well, I have the answers. In years surrounding 2007, leagues started gravitating towards point per reception league, where if a player catches a ball, he gets a point just for that fact, plus his yardage. That led to more scoring prowess of position players other than a quarterback. Another reason why quarterbacks fell on the ADP sheet is because quarterback scoring fell off. What happened was some leagues went from scoring 6 points for a passing touchdown to quarterbacks only getting 4 points for a passing touchdown. And the worst thing that happened to quarterbacks that led to their demise was the addition of adding a flex player. That meant that you can now play more running backs, more wide receivers, and more tight ends, which meant more scoring for position players other than a quarterback. These are the 3 reasons why quarterbacks fell on the ADP sheet from 2007 to 2018. Let's check on the waiver wire availability for quarterbacks. Quarterback waiver wire availability for quarterbacks in most leagues is 15 to 25%. That means on any given day, you could probably go pick up a starting quarterback and start him if yours is hurt, or maybe you see a matchup that you like. All those facts that I gave you up to this point leads us to the position priority list, where we're putting quarterbacks at number 4, meaning when you head into a draft, there's 3 position players that are more important than a quarterback. That's running back, tight end, and receiver. The only 2 positions that are behind it on the priority list is defenses and kickers. Therefore, where do you draft a quarterback in your upcoming draft? I suggest you do it in rounds 5 through 10 in a league that scores 6 points for a passing touchdown. If it's a league that scores 4 points for a passing touchdown, I suggest you do it between rounds 7 and 12. How do you go about figuring out what quarterbacks to take? Let me break it down even further. Make a list of 6 or 7 quarterbacks you want to target in rounds 5 through 7. Don't panic or reach for one if a more important position player of priority is available. If all your primary quarterbacks are gone by those rounds, that's okay, because what we're going to do is make a secondary list. We're going to make a secondary list of 4 to 5 quarterbacks that we're going to target between rounds 8 and 10 if all of your main quarterbacks have already been drafted. When it comes to drafting a quarterback, you should always know approximately what rounds the quarterbacks you're targeting are going in. And you do that on your ADP sheet, which is the only thing I bring into the draft. When it comes to targeting a quarterback, I always check the playoff run to see where a quarterback I might target and who he is playing in weeks 14 through 17. If he's got a weak schedule, then I'm all in. But if he's got a tough schedule, maybe he's an indoor quarterback playing outside, or maybe in bad weather, or maybe he's just going up against a difficult defense that he won't do well, then that may determine whether I will consider drafting him in the draft at all. In summary, quarterbacks just don't have the priority as other position players do unless you're in a 2-quarterback league or a super flex league. So be patient when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. I hope this helped you. I'm Buster Brown. This is Redemption Rehab. Good luck.